Hey guys, welcome back. The length of the Victorian corset was going to be 19.5 inches. Just going to draw a straight line right there in order to draw or mark the beginning of our Victorian corset pattern. Okay, so from this point, which is 19 inches, we're going to simply go up, marking out our other points. First is the waist, which is 16 inches, and then the underbust, okay, which is 13.5 inches, and then our bust point, which is 10 inches standard, and then we're going to mark our chest line, upper chest line, and then the armhole. Okay guys, I just went ahead to extend the lines. So we're going to go in by 7 inches for our shoulder line, like so. So we're going to mark that in order to connect it and draw a straight line. Okay, so this is it. And now we're simply going to make a curve, okay? So now we're going to calculate our distance from our nipple to nipple. Mine was 8 inches divided by 2, which is 4. So we're just going to mark 4 all the way down to that point right there. And now I'm just labeling it. We have the armhole line, we have the chest line, we have the bust line, we have the under bust line, we have the waistline, and then the full length of the top, which is also going to be our hip line. Okay, H for hip. All right, so on this upper bust line, which is the chest line, we're going to out by 1 inch on both sides. Okay, and then we're going to come down by 1 inch from the bust line as well. All right, just like so. And on the under bust, going to go in by 0.75 inches on both sides this time, not 1 inch, 0.75 inches, just like I'm doing like so. Okay, so now I'm just connecting these lines together. You can use your scissors, you can use your assigned ruler for this. I made a mistake, so I just cancel that out. And then for the upper part as well, so we're just going to quickly shade our darts intake, okay, so we do not get confused or anything. And then we're also going to do the same for the hip line. Take in 0.75 inches, okay, and then just connect it together. All right, simple and easy. This is going to be our first dart intake, okay guys. Just shades as well too. I was just extending that line, it's not really important, okay. So now for the second dart intake, we're simply going to divide what we have there into 2. We have 3 inches, so that's 1.5 inches. And now you can see I'm just marking it out like so. So guys, you can choose to make a straight dart, but I'm going to be making a slanted dart. So from this point, I'm just going to go out by half an inch right there, and then for the bottom I'm going to go out by 1 inch, and then we're just going to slant it like so. Okay, so this is going to give a slanted look now after you've sewn in your darts. Okay, so now for our third dart intake, we're going to be using our shoulder line. Okay, we're just going to calculate it and then extend it down to the bottom of the top. So we're also going to be slanting it, just doing the same thing we did for the second dart intake, taking 1 inch, and then I'm just marking the neck out because I want to draft the armhole area. So we're just going out by half an inch, okay, and then the full width of the sleeve is going to be 1.5 inches, which we already calculated. So we're just going to connect that part to the curve of your armhole, and then the other part to a dart line. Okay, just connecting our dart intake together like so, and then shading it. As you can see, it's very easy and simple, guys. So now I'm just going to impute my real measurements now. So we have 9 inches plus our dart intake right there, which was 1.5. Okay, and then for the waist as well, calculate your waist, 7 inches. Okay, so we have half an inch there for the dart intake. We have 2 inches. Okay, that's 3 inches in total, so you're just going to add your 3 inches. And then for the hip, we're going to impute the hip measurements in there and then add our dart intake allowances as well. Now we're just going to connect like so. Okay, all right. So a thing about Victorian corset is that it just needs a lot of dart intakes basically. You can also choose to do another dart. Okay, so I want mine to be a basque waist, so I'm just going to come down by half an inch and then connect it all the way to the end right there to give me a slanted look. Okay guys, this is the finished look now. So I went ahead to curve it a little bit because I did not like that it was straight, and I went to decrease the dart intake there. Instead of one off. So now this is the back piece. Okay, that is the center back line. We have the first dart, which is our 4-inch nipple to nipple, our shoulder line. Okay, so we're just going to take 0.75 inches on our 4-inch mark and then 0.75 inches on our shoulder line as well, which is also the same darts for the front piece. And now we're just going to connect it straight up. Okay, straight up like so. Yeah, and then we're simply going to shade in order to indicate where we're going to cut out from. All right, so we're going to do the same thing for our armhole. Make our neck 3 by 3 inches and then go out or go in by half an inch and then 1.5 inch, which is the width of our shoulder. And then we're just going to make a curve and then connect it to our so I'm just going ahead to extending that line. So this is basically going to be a shoulder dart. All right, so we have the waist, we have the under bust, we have the bust, we have the upper chest line, and then the armhole. All right, so now we're just going to so now I'm just imputing our measurements as usual. We have no dart intake there, so we don't need an allowance. But for the waist, we are going to calculate our dart intake, which is altogether 2 inches, so 7 plus 2 inches basically. And then for the hip as well, right, we have 3 inches, so mark your waist, which is 9.75, and then add your 3 inches allowance to it. But I made use of 2.5. So now we're just going to connect our sides together like so. Then I'm going to come down like I did for the front piece as well, 1 inch down. So the back is not going to be slanted or anything. You can choose to make it slanted, but I decided to make it straight. Okay, we are going to be making use of loops. Okay, so it's going to be tied at the back, so I'm just going to remove 1 inch from the back piece. Now if we're going to use a zip, you're going to add 1 inch extra. Okay, so now we're just going to slash that out because it isn't part of our back piece anymore. So for this part, I just went ahead to make a curve in order to connect it to the dart right there. So I'm just going to be calculating both sides, the front and the back sides, to ensure if it is correct. It has to be correct, guys. It has to be correct. So I'm just going to label that out now. We have the 1, 2, and the 4th piece, and then for the back we have 3 pieces for the back piece. So yeah, this is all for the video now. I forgot to make a shoulder slant. So making a shoulder slant, you're just going to come down by 1 inch like so, and then slant it all the way to the neck line right there. Okay, please do not forget to make a slant for your shoulder and to allow it to sit well. So now we're just going to cut our pieces. Okay, cutting our that piece now like so. Ensure you do not cut the right sides of the pattern paper, please. You have to make sure it is only the part that has been shaded that you will cut out. Okay, guys. So this is all for the front piece. Okay, I'm going to indicate that dent right there in order to know which is to be added to which. Okay, so this is all for both the front and the back piece. You can see the curve. All right, the curve is important too. So that is the center front, and then we have the center back. You have to label your pattern so as to know which to cut and how to sew.